What's going on, guys? With the Brothers War set to release very soon, I thought now would be a really good time to go over 5 things that you should know before you go into the Brothers War pre-release. Before we jump into the list, just be aware these are all just suggestions to hopefully make your experience a little bit more fun or a little bit more easy for you to understand and get ahead of the game before you actually sit down to pre-release. Now, first and foremost, I want to talk about the pre-release kits themselves so you know what to expect. So, number 1 on the list, pre-release kits. At the pre-release event, you will have your choice of one of 2 different pre-release kits, one based on Urza and one based on Mishra, the 2 flagship brothers in the Brothers War. Now, each pre-release kit features 6 draft booster packs of the Brothers War, 1 foil stamped rare or mythic rare card, a deck box, and a spin down dice. As far as how pre-release actually works, you'll take the cards out of your pre-release kit, open up those packs, open up those foil stamped cards, and you will put a deck together with which you will take part in the event. Now, this leads us on to point number 2, which go ahead and plan early for where you plan to pre-release. This is really important because not all local game stores actually can do pre-release events. Make sure that your store can, and you can do that via the Magic website. You can actually check out all the details there, find a store that's nearby if you don't know already, and that'll give you a heads up as to where you might want to go. Just a little added suggestion, it's always a good time to bring a couple friends along, have some fun, enjoy it together. It's a really great community experience, it's a blast. Now, point number 3 is to familiarize yourself with the mechanics as well as the themes of the set prior to actually going to the pre-release. Now, this is super easy to do. There are a ton of resources for this. You can check the MTG wiki, you can check tons of articles on the Wizards website, but all of which is very important to read because it'll give you a heads up of what kinds of cards you might be looking for as you are going through your pre-release kit. A couple things to note here. First and foremost, this is an artifact themed set, so you will see a lot more artifacts, a higher density of artifacts, or artifact synergies in this set than you might otherwise find. So if you're not used to the artifact sub-theme, just be aware that it is there. There's also a handful of sub-themes in this set that are all based around 2 color pairings that you might want to be aware of as you are opening up your pre-release kit. As an example, there will be some flagship cards, but like black and red, for instance, will be an artifact and sacrificial sub-theme. You can check out all the details on that again on various websites. I'll link a few down below, that way you have a couple of those resources available, just in case you want to dig deeper. A couple of mechanics to be aware of just very quickly as well. Meld is a returning mechanic as well as Unearth. We do have a brand new mechanic coming up in the set, which is called Prototype, which I'm not going to go over here, but just be aware, again, the resources down below should give you all of the information you need to make sure you understand how each mechanic works and how you can utilize it in your pre-release deck. Now, before we move on to point number 4, I just want to remind everybody watching, we do have a giveaway of the Brothers War going on right now until November 22nd. We're actually giving away a free draft booster box of the set, and one of the ways you can enter is subscribing to this channel. I encourage you guys, check out all the details. We've got a landing page video up that you guys can watch that goes over every single detail you need to know to enter the giveaway. We'd really appreciate the support, and again, hopefully you guys enjoy the new set. Moving on to point number 4, it's make sure that you understand the general cards in the card pool. Now, I don't mean you need to know the details of every single card in the set. That would be a very daunting task. However, it is really important for you to know what are the flagship cards of each 2-color sub-theme, what are some of the bomb rares to be looking for, some of those things that as you are opening up your pre-release kit, you've got a good idea of what is a relevant playable card and what maybe isn't so good. Now, I recommend just going to scryfall.com and looking at the full Brothers War preview and kind of going through each of the main cards. Maybe start with the mythic rares and the rares and then move further down from there. One other thing to note as well, there are a lot of 2-color cards that are really important to know. Make sure that you are aware of those. There's usually an uncommon for each color pairing that kind of represents the sub-theme, and that'll again kind of push you in that direction of understanding that sub-theme and knowing which kinds of cards to be looking for. Now, the last thing on this list is something that I think will better your experience with the pre-release and really just the set as a whole, and it's actually to read or at least brush up on the actual story, The Brothers War. Now, if you don't know, the Brothers War is actually one of the original novels from Magic the Gathering that details out the actual conflict of the war between Urza and Mishra, as well as just the entire plane of Dominaria as a whole. You get a lot of setting, you get a lot of interesting storylines, and some really important information that makes a lot of the cards in this set feel a lot more special. Now again, this is totally optional, but it's one of those things that as you're opening up your booster packs or your pre-release kit and you find a card that's important to the story for some reason, or a really important legendary character in the story, it might feel that much more special to you. I know I have felt that way throughout spoiler season for this set. It's felt really special, it's felt really impactful, and it's nice to have that callback. Now again, you don't have to read the entire story if you don't want to. I know we've only got a few days left until pre-release, but I would highly recommend just brushing up on some of the articles either posted on the Wizards website or just some information online that you find that kind of details out some of those events. Guys, I can honestly say I am really excited for this new set. I love the Brothers War as a story, as a setting, and as a really important piece of Magic's history. It's great to see so many of these legendary creatures and characters that we haven't seen in so long, or maybe never even got a card, finally get their card, and it's a really special time in Magic's history. I encourage you guys, go check out a pre-release event near you, take part in it. It's an absolute blast of a time. And again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget, we do have that giveaway going on right now. If you would like to enter, please make sure you check out all the details. We would really appreciate it, and it really does mean a lot to us to have that support. Thank you guys so much for watching, and good luck at your pre-release event.